Hey everyone, sorry I'm not talking much. I have a tension headache from stress. I could barely sleep. Uh, Doing my caregiving job has been very mentally exhausting. I don't really want to have an episode on stream, so I'm kind of just playing this. I don't know if you guys watched the last couple streams of this, but it's what's the word for it? The build has improved exponentially. I've got a Were Tiger build. I'm currently re-rolling all of this stuff to just basically just be damage and survivability. I've got some pretty good rolls here, actually. I gotta re-roll them until they give me something good. This one is not great, so I'm gonna go ahead and re-roll it. You kill so much stuff in here, it doesn't take that long. A lot of times I don't even notice. Right now I'm currently leveling up, or not leveling up, but mostly getting the tickets to go farther in the hell mode. The hell mode works like DFO. You need invitations or tickets to get in there. So that's what I'm doing currently. This game got a lot less stressful after I changed my build. I got some help in the Discord. Apparently the build I was using was heavily nerfed. Like, they nerfed it hardcore. Which is why I had a much lower kill speed than what I have now. I kind of just look at things and they die, and bosses only take a couple seconds. You get slashed a couple times and they're done. So I'm climbing hells currently. Hells are like greater rifts in Diablo 3. I forget what they call it in Diablo 4, but same thing. Scales up forever, you get better stuffs. Yo, I can't move right now. Projectile spammers. I'm also looking for mythic legendaries, as those are build defining, but haven't found any yet. How you guys doing today? I'm also waiting for my groceries to come, and I'm so exhausted that I don't want to fall asleep through it. I didn't order anything frozen or perishable, but I don't want it out there in this heat. So, might as well stream this mindless grinding, which is actually helping me to relax. This Game is the best 12 bucks I've spent in a long time. A lot worse ways you can spend $20 than buying this game. This game is awesome. What's up, Alvy? Hello. I'm very mentally exhausted, so I'm not talking much. I don't want to have another breakdown. It's been very stressful, my neighbors, currently, because their dad just passed away, so it means I'm needed more than before, and as you guys know, it can be very difficult to be over there sometimes, so I feel very burnt out and drained and not well, so I'm kind of just playing this right now, and yeah, taking care of people is hard. It's very difficult, especially when it's 6 days a week. It can be very difficult. So, trying to just hang in there. Well, you have to remember, the people that you love that pass on, they don't want us to be sad and beat ourselves up emotionally when they pass. You have to remember that. It can be hard to remember that. But, you know, if they loved you, they wouldn't want you to do that. I went through that with my grandpa. Also, my friend from high school that passed a while back. You know, he was like one of the only friends I had in that part of high school, because I just had so many problems at home. You know, I kind of just had to come to peace with it. Like, you know, you wouldn't want me to be sad and mega depressed. You know, he'd want me to mourn him, but he wouldn't want me to, you know, have breakdowns over it and stuff. And that's what you have to realize. People in our lives that leave like that, or they pass on, they don't want us to get all upset. You know, if anything, they want us to be able to move on and remember them, but, you know, build new connections and do the things we enjoy. That's kind of what I'm struggling with right now, is I just don't have the money to do things. I just paid the bill for the new GPU. That's very expensive. But you guys help with that when you can, and I got to apply for more review keys, try to offset the cost of running the channel currently. But yeah. You know, my grandpa always wanted the best for me, and he felt bad that I deal with so much shit all the time. You know, so when he passed, I kind of just had to realize, you know, it's sad, of course. I'm not saying to be emotionless about it. What I'm saying is, they don't want us to, you know, feel complete shit for too long, or blame ourselves or anything. Fortunately, people passing on is part of humanity, being a human. Grandpa was a lot like me, honestly. He's at peace just making art. I can't draw for shit, but I'm always in here working on the channel. When it's not times like now where there's like other factors, like taking care of people, money and things, I'm at peace doing this. And that's pretty much what my grandpa was like. I just can't draw. I can't draw, my handwriting is not very good. You know, he always said that I was creative in a different way, and that meant a lot coming from him. He was a legendary artist. He has a lot of credentials, things that he's done. There's lots of ways to be creative. Did I get a review key? No. I did not. I paid for it. Paid for that with my cash. Didn't get the hookup. I probably, they talked to me and they said that they weren't sending any more out, so I just bought it. I didn't really think about when I sent it. I sent it only a couple days ago. Publishers have like a certain amount of keys that they give out, and they don't want to give out anymore for a while. If it's Switch, they have to get them from Nintendo, which is why you want to be a content creator. It's best to have a PC, or at least a Steam Deck, because they have a lot more Steam keys than Switch keys. Whenever you request a key, Switch is always in the highest demand, so they have to look through your channel with like intense scrutiny. Like, you know, how often do you create stuff, and what are the stats like and everything, the metrics. Those things matter a lot more. When you ask for a Steam key, it's a lot more likely to get one. Because there's a lot less people that have a gaming PC. Although, if you get a Switch key, I mean, you kind of need to have a computer of some sort, because you need to have a capture card. But still, they're in extremely high demand. So, if you ever get into this kind of thing, I recommend getting like at least a Steam Deck or a ROG Ally or something, because that's you're far more likely to get a key. Even if you're like a big channel, like way bigger than mine, we're talking like 50k to 100k subs. It's still a lot less Switch keys than anything else. If you ask for an Xbox key, they'll probably just give it to you, because no one has an Xbox anymore. But yeah, it's one of the reasons I used the sponsorship to get the Steam Deck, because I knew that it'd pay itself off, which it definitely has. A lot of the Steam Deck videos I do perform pretty well, especially because I'm covering stuff that not a lot of other people are doing. Also, being at my neighbor's house 4 to 6 hours a day really is good for Steam Deck. Also when I travel, because getting up to NorCal takes like 7 hours on the train and shuttle. It takes almost an entire waking day, so it's nice to have for those things. And I play a lot of smaller games. A decent chunk of what I play runs fine on there. I just find it silly that people keep trying to play AAA games on it. It's like, you know, just play that on your PC. People will go really crazy trying to get, you know, Cyberpunk to run at 30 FPS, even though the battery life is like 90 minutes. You know, I just play like Fight Forever or an open BOR game and get like 6 hours of battery life, and it runs perfect. AAA, buying one of those things for AAA games is not very smart. Problem right now is the battery tech is not advancing as fast as the processors and GPUs are, so they actually can run a lot of those games somewhat decent, but the battery life is like barely get you through a train ride. Or like riding the bus or whatever, barely get you through that. I specifically don't play games with bad battery life if I'm away from a charger. I'll legit play like an emulator or something if I'm not gonna have access to a charger for a while. Next year is supposed to be the next biggest leap in portable PCs, like Steam Deck 2. AMD's making a new processor, supposed to be next year, so I would consider upgrading at that point. Because running this channel is hard when I'm playing stuff that can't be played on Steam Deck. Final Fantasy 16, for instance, barely runs. And the battery life is like the length of like watching a hour-long episode on TV. It's like 90 minutes. Not worth it. Steam Deck is best as a companion device. It's not good for your main device. Even if you mostly play indie stuff like this. You want to play a AAA game on it, the battery life is complete buns. ROG Ally X apparently has decent battery life, but the processor is mostly the same, so I didn't want to buy it personally. By the time I pay off this graphic card, we should be at least getting announcements about the next generation of portable PCs, and I'll consider getting one. I used my Vita a lot as well. That console had a lot of games I really liked, but the marketing for it was terrible, and it was the exact same thing that people do with the Steam Deck, is they try to play stuff that it can't run and then they complain. I'm like, it can run most games, but if you're only gonna play AAA stuff, it's not worth buying, period. Which is exactly what the Vita was like. The Vita had a lot of amazing games, but for like the average normie dude bro gamer, it really didn't have much. And they made an attempt with Borderlands 2, but as we all know, that port barely functioned. It was like sub 30 FPS and crashed all the time. They made an entire branded Vita for that game, which is like the stupidest thing I've seen a company do. Like, that game barely runs. And then, like, I never really understood why they did that, because there's not really a lot of other normie games on there in the first place. It's mostly visual novels and Japanese games and indies. Most of the Western developers tapped out after the first year. Borderlands 2 was like the last big Western game for it, pretty much, and it was terrible. You could run that game better on a like 2013 laptop than you could on the Vita, so that was what you were gonna buy it for. It's a complete waste of money. That's the same thing they do with the Switch as well. They port stuff that it can't run. As much as we like to rag on the Switch for running games poorly, There's a lot of stuff it could run fine, it's just that they port stuff that it can't run. Which is exactly what they did with the Vita. That's why I had that series about ports on the Vita that I did, and those videos did really well. Yeah, this is not worth buying. Run better on like a $200 laptop. So, why waste your money on an inferior experience? That's pretty much what Borderlands 2 was. Meme level performance. Let's just port this AAA PS3 game to the Vita, and it runs like garbage, and then also it's not even stable. If you can look past the crap frame rate, it's not even stable. It crashed constantly. I didn't play it myself, but I remember people talking about how bad it was. One of those monkey paw ports. Really wish I could play Borderlands 2 on the Vita. Like, no you don't. Trust me. It's barely functional. Vita was a great console. You just had to be into a specific type of game, and it definitely was not for mainstream games. They only did one Call of Duty for it. They did one Assassin's Creed. There was no Grand Theft Auto at all, which is interesting because the Grand Theft Auto on PSP was like a bestseller. That game was extremely popular. It was like you couldn't really get that experience on the DS. You couldn't get a Grand Theft Auto sized game on DS. It just wasn't possible. So the fact that they didn't make one for Vita is just like, why? You guys hate money? They did one Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed is something that gets spammed every year, regardless of quality. They did one Assassin's Creed. I felt bad for anybody that bought a Vita expecting there to be, like, Western support, because they basically gaslit their consumers. Like, hey, we've got Assassin's Creed and all this other stuff. Too bad it's only for the first year. PSP was a lot better than the DS. Hot take. Third-party support and the scope of games on PSP was way better than the DS. DS was carried by first party, which is how Nintendo's always been until the Switch. But you got a lot more full 3D games on PSP. There were a decent amount of ports as well, like they had a bunch of Musou games on there and stuff. I definitely used my PSP more than my DS. I didn't even bother with the 3DS. There wasn't anything on there I really wanted to play. Anything that was cross-platform ran better on Vita, so wasn't any reason to buy it on 3DS. Hey, I'll be right back. I have to go get my groceries are outside. There's nothing perishable, but I've got a bunch of vitamin water and stuff I want to put in the fridge. So I'll be right back. Alright, there we go. I just lifted 120 bottles of water, so let me just drink something, we'll get back to the grind. They always come really early. They say 8 to 10. 8 to 10 means like 8:20. So, you'd better be up. Don't put your alarm on or anything. Like, you need to be up way before. I had to clean out my cabinet and they pretty much come like frame 1. It's better to get it in the morning because it's not so hot. Yeah, I didn't have anything perishable this time. It's mostly just drinks and house stuff. I don't really like people picking out perishable stuff for me, unless it's frozen. I would rather go do it myself. I don't trust people to be like, oh, here, I'm gonna get you these chicken nuggets that, you know, the expiration date is like 3 days away, so unless you have like 10 stomachs, you can't eat it all. But non-perishable stuff and things I can't carry, like, you know, 120 bottles of water, you know, I'll order that. Like, I can't do that as somebody without a car. It's not possible. A lot of DoorDash restaurants are like not even giving you straws anymore. And like I understand that they're trying to like actually be responsible for how much stuff they burn through, but so many times I've ordered something and they don't even have an option to give you a straw. Straws are like a rare item now. If you order food online through like DoorDash or something, a lot of restaurants won't even give you a straw, and they don't ever communicate this to you at any point. I've had numerous occasions I've gotten like a big lemonade and they don't give you a straw with it. I'm like, well, you're still making millions of straws either way, like, why don't you just make it optional? But a lot of places on DoorDash actually do not do that. It's either you get a straw or you don't. Like, I don't really get what that accomplishes. Yeah, California did the thing where they, like, don't, they charge you for bags and stuff for 10 cents to try to push you towards reusable bags. I don't have a problem with that. I think that that's a good thing, because people often get more bags than they need, and reusable bags are fine. As long as you don't use them for, like, years, they're fine. I use reusable bags probably like 90% of the time. Sometimes I don't bring it with me when I'm out, but they're a lot more durable than plastic bags. That makes sense. What doesn't make sense is we're just going to randomly not give you a straw, even though we actually physically go to the restaurant. You could just take like 2 dozen of them. No one bats an eye. Like, what does not giving me a straw accomplish for the environment? They have all those straws at the restaurant, any restaurant you go to. Doesn't matter what kind of food it is. There's like 200 of them there. Like, what does not giving me one when I order online accomplish? I don't even understand. It's one of those things that feels like that we actually care about our impact on the environment, but it doesn't actually do anything. Or they don't give you napkins. I'm like, dude, you can get like a mile's worth of napkins if you actually go to the restaurant yourself. And no one stops you. You have like a small fries with no ketchup, or even like just a coffee at Starbucks. You could just go take like a mile's worth of napkins and no one says anything. Like, it doesn't do anything. Like, There's ways that corporate businesses could, like, actually do something to reduce their impact on the environment, but they just do random stuff that doesn't accomplish anything. The law they passed here in California to charge you for bags actually does help. I see a lot of people with reusable bags now. It actually is doing something, I think. But some of this other stuff is just like, we want to look like we care, but we're not doing things that actually do anything. Same thing with manuals. Manuals for video games has actually done more harm than good. That's why video games are overly hand-holding now, because they can't tell you to read the manual. People didn't read the manual in the first place, but now there's no manual at all because they think that that's an impact on the environment. That's why every game's got to teach you to move and jump. It could be like something hardcore like a Souls game, and it's still got to teach you how to use the controller. That's another thing that's more relevant to the channel. Everything's got to hold your hand now because they got rid of manuals. I'm like, dude, most manuals were trash anyway. At least the ones we got here in America were bad. I remember getting so many games as a kid and being excited to read the manual, because I loved reading the manuals personally. And then it was just like some cheap black and white manual with like 3 pages. Not exciting at all. And now there's no manuals at all, so every game has to hold your hand through every little thing. Yeah, a lot of people don't really. They complain about tutorials, and they don't understand why that's a thing. It's because there's no manuals anymore. You know what I like about Koei Tecmo is they actually make digital manuals now, which are very well made. They're obviously in full color because they're not actually a physical item. And they really do help you learn how to play the game. Like, you know, somebody that had never played a Musou game before could easily learn how from those manuals. Yeah, a lot of the they still make like physical manuals. Or digital manuals, I mean. Getting really OP here. Getting really OP. Let's do one more map, and then I think I'm gonna go ahead and switch games. Try to get these pieces awakened with good affixes. And I've got 12 rerolls here, so we'll do some more mapping. I haven't gotten a single mythic today. No mythics. That'll be like the next big power spike, is getting a really good mythic. But they're very rare. They're not like Diablo where they're handed out like constantly. You only get a few. Drop rate must be really low. Let's see if that awakened anything. Kinda just tells you to kill specific stuff, but there's so much stuff on the screen, like doesn't not really a lot of thought that goes into it. You know, I could probably add some sockets as well. Let's go do that. I have a lot of money. Let's try to get some sockets in these. Oh, it won't let me. Alright, so I've got a couple more re-rolls to do. Let's do some re-rolls. Alright, so that's the worst piece in here. Next hell is going to take 3680, so that's a lot of doing institute maps. I'm definitely not doing that this stream. Maybe later. Alright, good progress today. Climbed up 2 levels, 2 hell levels. Got some good affixes. I think it's time to play something else. 72% achievements. What do I have left for achievements in this game? Pretty close to capping out, I think. Open more treasure chests, get a bunch of eggs. The pay it forward achievement might be hard. Now is probably the best time to do that. Because, they just did the $12 sale. Craft legendaries, I can do that. Yeah, it's basically just grind Chibos. Hey, wait a minute, there's a Dragon is Dead update. Whoa. There is a Dragon is Dead update. Alright, cool. Well, I guess that's the next thing I'm doing. Let's pull that up. Very exciting. New moves. Wow. New legendaries. They added some gloves. That's actually really nice. There aren't any legendary gloves in this game currently. There's a new armor. I'm not sure if it's going to be better than Ruin's Will, though. Song of Lightning. So they still didn't fix hit stun in this game, apparently. So you still get wombo comboed. That's like the main thing they need to fix. Yeah, but this seems like a pretty competent update, so I guess I'm gonna go ahead and roll for some of these. Alright, well, let's go for it. Yeah, just got updated. Like right as soon as I stopped playing Ghost Lore. Alright. Let's try to get some legendaries. Okay, so let me see if I have any good gloves to put this on. I'm actually very disappointed with the roadmap for this game. Like, can you please just add more storage? Like, how hard is it, man? Look at this. I've had all these saved for, like, months now. Been saving them for legendaries, but then, like, they don't give you more storage, so it's same problem as every other loot game. If you don't give me a place to use or take any of this junk, I'm just like not gonna play the game. I'm really disappointed this update does not have that, because it's the worst thing about this game. A lot of stuff in this game is worth keeping, but there's no space for it. That is actively the worst thing about this game. Okay, so let me see if there's any rings. I think rings might be best thing to go for. Okay, so there's a new armor. There's a new gloves. Oh, well, I actually don't really want the gloves. I think what I have currently... Whoa, it's all bugged out. I can't even look at it. Oh, man. How do you not notice this? This is kind of a problem. Oh, okay. There we go. No, it actually is all messed up. Okay, so there's... you know what? I'm not gonna play this right now. I hate inventory management. I really like that game, but I don't understand. Like, I get like why there's not more like actual content. They just add like legendaries and stuff to it. The legendaries do change the way that you play the game, so I consider it content. I understand that, like, you know, the pixel art in that game is amazing. It's not quick or cheap to make pixel art of that quality, but, like, can you just give me more space? Like, how hard is that? That's, like, the least entitled request. I don't need them to work themselves to the bone making the pixel art faster. I'd prefer if they, you know, have time to eat and sleep and do stuff besides work on the game. But, like, just give me more space, man. Every time I want to play that game, I'm like, I gotta save all this stuff until they add more gear. But I'm running out of space. I feel like if you're gonna make a loot game, the first thing that you should have is significant space for one, and then, like, a lot of storage, and then also disassembling stuff should be actually worth it. You need those things for it to be a good loot game. If you don't, then what happens is you have so much clutter, and it actively prevents you from playing the game. That's what Ghost Lore actually improved. They added the commodity cube, they have the gem pouch, and then there's also loot filters. So if you use all of those things, getting rid of your junk is pretty quick. Dragon is Dead does not have any of those things at all. They give you the disassemble, but it's relatively useless because just playing the game you'll have more than you can ever use. I've got enough to craft like 50 legendaries currently, and disassembling it doesn't do anything at all. I really hope they get that update out sooner than later, because I like that game, but the loot management is just terrible. Like, bare minimum, you should have all of the things I mentioned. If you can't give me infinite space, give me enough that, like, I don't have to manage inventory every time I play for like an hour. That's like the bare minimum in my opinion. If you can't do that, then the game should not have loot. It really sucks, but that's totally how I feel. Is I've played so many action RPGs. Like Team Ninja does it so much better, where it's like, hey, you just have like 2,000 spaces, and you can get rid of stuff quick, and you actually get, you know, beneficial stuff for getting rid of it. I feel like Dragon is Dead is really stuck between how hard it is to make the pixel art and then like not adding basic functionality. Because I would still play the game if I had space, but I don't. That's always the difference between a loot game being really fun to play and whether it's complete just torture. That's how it always is. The loot has to actually be good too. There are a lot of games with crap loot. Some games have good loot, but then the inventory management is terrible. Like they promised being able to have like improve the town and buy more storage. I'm like, why don't you just give us that first? Why don't you just give us that first? like I can wait for the other stuff. I get making an entire new tile set of pixel art and monsters and stuff is not easy. I totally get that, but like, can you fast track the rest of the stuff? It's one of those games where they don't update the right things, and you can tell that, like, it has a good foundation, but they focus on stuff that's not needed. Not the first roguelike I've played like that. Optimization this game is terrible. Don't buy this game currently. Don't buy this game currently. Definitely wait. Optimization, the game design as well is not great. especially for the price. This game is not competitively priced, like, at all. It's like 22 bucks right now. You can get Entropy Effect for, like, under 20. It's a much better game than this. I think it's weird that this game copies a lot of stuff from Hades, but then, like, Hades is a little bit more expensive than this and has way more content. So, like, most people aren't going to want to pay for this game. This game needs a lot of work. I hope it'll get better, but I don't know. It kind of feels like a alpha demo right now. This is a really big contrast from Realm of Ink, which I've been playing on the channel, which feels like mostly done. That game's got its fair share of problems, but it's got way more content than this. The game design in general is just a lot better. I guess that's what happens when you make a sequel and the original people aren't involved. I don't think they're even, like, consultants on this game. We'll see what happens with this one, I guess. Well, that's the thing about Entropy Effect is it's how do I put this? Entropy Effect had an ending in early access. It had an ending in early access. The thing about making roguelikes that don't have an ending in early access means that, like, you can't even really test what builds are going to be like. Like, they're planning for 4 levels for this, and right now they have 2, so... This is literally half the game. Now, you're not really going to be able to tell what progression's going to be like, because there's only 2 levels currently. One good thing about Hades 2, objectively, is that a lot of these roguelikes are going to be pressured to have, like, a lot of content at launch. Like, Realm of Ink is like that. Realm of Ink has a lot of content. It's mostly just missing polish, balance, and, like, the progression. There's not really much of an endgame currently. But that game feels complete. It's like one of the only competitors to Hades 2, I think. Hades 2 is $30, which is like high priced for a roguelike, but it's got enough content for it to be worthwhile. Towerborn, same thing. Towerborn just needs combat balancing, mostly. Some way to mitigate RNG as well. Like, that's actually... The worst thing about that game is all the loot is completely random. Alright, well, I feel better after streaming, but I actually didn't really get that much sleep. I had a very bad, really bad anxiety last night because of dealing with Scott. So, I think I'm going to take a break, probably lay down a bit. I'll probably come back after lunch. I want to get a Wizard of Legend 2 clear, which probably shouldn't take more than a few hours. I'll put out a video for that, and then I'll probably play some more Ghost Lore or FF16. FF16 doesn't really have any new gameplay mods coming out, so I think now is probably a good time to play that. So I think that'll be the trajectory for later. Wizard of Legend 2's optimization is terrible, so you're gonna play that game on Steam Deck. I don't recommend it. It doesn't stay stable at all. So that's definitely not a kitty sitting stream game in any capacity. The only kitty sitting game I have right now that I'm playing is Ghost Lore. So I'll probably play that over there. I think I'm going to ask him for the day off because he really got on my nerves yesterday. But I don't know if that's actually going to happen or not. I haven't talked to them yet today. They're supposed to be paying me today, so I might put that money towards East 10 or something. But yeah, I think I should get some more rest before I tire myself out even more, because taking care of him and the cats is legit draining. I need to watch my IRL stamina bar. So I'll probably come back after I eat some lunch. We'll do some more Ghost Lore and some Wizard of Legend 2, and then if there's time, I might check out some other stuff as well. I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching.